we're all going to stand up. Yeah, that sounds great.
Thanks for letting me know you were going to ring the bell. I appreciate that.
Did you like that? I gave you. All right, let's try this. Good morning, Sunrisers. Good morning. Hey. All right. I have one of the brightest and shiniest up in the front.
Oh my goodness. Do you know I'm a little bit though? I'm just joking. Okay. The four-way.
Is it the truth?
Oh, I'm not a good Rotarian. The four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Wonderful. Thank you. So that was a nice way to start. Thanks, I really appreciate that.
Here for you.
I wanted to go backwards. All right. Visitors.
You want to stand up here?
You want to stand on the chair or do you want to come up front? You want to come up front? Yeah. Come on. Come on up front. Who are you? Oh, you got to tell all them, not me.
Yell it. Hey.
Sophie, you don't count as a guest ever anymore. Sorry. I like you. You don't just not a guest. Guests?
Good morning. My name is Mabi. I'm an exchange student from Brazil, and I'm with Old Town Rica.
Back table.
Get them all in front.
All right. Excellent.
Oh, good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm in the meeting. Wow, this is my daughter talking about.
I think that we have another club president hiding at that back table.
Yes, Molly Smith, Arcata New.
Guest-free table. Oh.
Marty Lay, Southwest Eureka.
The most patient man in the world.
Right. Somebody's car's going off out here.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I know who that is. Hold on a second. Hey, Nick.
Wait now.
This might be your car. It might be yours. You park right there, don't you?
No, it's mine.
Oh, it's yours. Well, I tried. I tried to blame you. All right. Well, yes. So now we're back on to, let's get back on topic. All right. We're gonna start with the bad news. Sorry. AJ doesn't get to go to Rotary International this year. Sorry, you can't go. But there's good news. Somebody else here gonna go? Maggie? Yay! So that's good news. Andreas is going. Hey. Yay! So the board, because AJ couldn't go, generally he's paid for. So what we're doing this year is we're paying for the registration for members who can go. So Maggie gets to go. If you were interested in that, please contact the board. And if anyone else is interested in going, see, we have good news. We start off the day that way. That's perfect. All right, let's see. I have this. So, I'm not really impressed with the postal service at this point because this has been very wet quite a few times. But it's from Izzy. So, we'll pass it around. If you're really careful and hold it to the light just right, you can read about half of it. So, all right. I know he's here. You still eating, Finn? You need more time to eat?
No, I can start.
You can start? Well, I can bring you up here. We could do it. We could do it whenever. I mean, I can give you all the
No,
time.
it's fine.
You're assuming that I can actually make your thumb drive work. Or not. For it? All right. It's going. There we go. This is technology at its best, once again. Preparation. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, well, you can just go ahead and start talking and I'll get your pictures up. Oh, that's the last one. Christmas Road, there we go. See, I was actually getting help. It was coming. It's trying. There we go. All right. Sorry. I'll stop now.
Ray, stop touching the computer.
Apparently, I should just stand here, out of frame.
Ooh, good move. That was smart. Close it. Wait, almost. Yeah,
Today on Technology with Finn and Ray, we'll be showing you how to not use a computer.
perfect.
Okay, don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's all Christmas holidays. So we had Christmas, and we had a nice Christmas with the family. Aiden's grandma came over down from Malibu, and she was there like for 4 or 5 days. And we spent a nice Christmas together, and went on to the Trinidad Head Wharf. So it was fun. It was cool to see in the afternoon Trinidad and when all the lights went on. Also we went on a few other walks in the Christmas time between all the different food dinners. And then we went once. Oh no, that was after the ski trip. So last weekend we went to the ski trip, and there we saw in Crescent City all the sea lions. That was really cool to see. Yeah. And right after Christmas we went to the Lost Coast, and it was more like a surfing trip. So Aiden, Sebastian, and Paul and me went there. And we camped there, and right in front, it's a perfect wave, so we surfed like nearly all the time, 2 times a day, always into the wetsuit. It was like sometimes like, I don't want to get in there. We did it mostly, and it was pretty cool, especially because there were like 7 shortboarders, and they really ripped all the waves, like they left no wave. It was really cool to see when they went onto the waves. And yeah, that was like 4 days, and then we went back to Arcata and spent the last few days around and mostly relaxed and slept and all. Yeah, that's last weekend. So last weekend we went to Ashland for Sydney, the sister. She had a volleyball tournament, so she couldn't go skiing on Saturday, but we went on Saturday skiing, like 2 days skiing in Ashland. It was really fun. I really liked it. And it's a little bit different. I normally go to Austria, and in Austria it's like a little bit bigger, but it was still really cool. And I normally ski, but then after lunch I went onto the snowboard, and it was pretty cool. And I then knew again how it is to start and to fall down and hurt yourself. And it was pretty cool. I liked it. And yeah, that's mostly what I did in the last couple of weeks over Christmas. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I don't have a technology switch that I have to do for this part, but I mean, I kind of do, but we're just not going to talk about it. We're just going to let the interactors, if you would, come on up and give us an update. Now, I'll sit back here.
So we have like coming up our pancake breakfast on the 26th of January, and like the proceeds go to the Career and College Center and the Arcata High Culinary Program. And we're also like working with Codes for the Cold to distribute those codes and buy new codes. And then the polio committee, like the polio awareness committee, is working on a presentation for our school and the Arcata Elementary School.
Okay. Thank you for consistently showing up at our meetings, because we want to support you. So you guys supporting us is the same thing. So thank you. All right. Sophie, I got all kinds of stuff for you. You can just hang out. I'm just going to leave. You can finish.
I have two announcements. So first, the dictionary project, I'm going to be coordinating that this year. So I'm going to be sending out a sign-up genius. We'll be going to the Arcata Elementary, Jacoby Creek, and Pacific Union on the 29th, 30th, and 31st. So look for that sign-up genius, and I'll be needing someone to present on each of those days as well. So I might be coming to ask you about that. And then the second announcement, Molly, do you want to help me? Okay.
Oh no, Molly. You have to stand up. I mean, you made me stand up. That's only fair. You got to come to the front too.
And front too?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's great. I have my leggings on this morning. Didn't expect this. You look great.
This is called supporting your fellow Rotarians. It's good.
Yes.
See?
So,
Sophie has an announcement.
So we just wanted to talk about the Humboldt Wine Festival. It's going to be March 16th. We'll have 20 different wine and cider makers for unlimited tasting. Tickets will be $45, and I hope goes for sale, and so does Molly.
It's our biggest fundraiser. It's really our only fundraiser. About 350 plus people attend. We have heard from people who attend and all the wineries and the cider makers who participate and donate their time and all of their product that it's the best wine event on the North Coast. We actually have winemakers from out of the area. When I've gone wine tasting down in the Alexander Valley and the Redwood Valley and I've told them about our event, they're coming up as guests to see what we're doing, which I think is pretty cool to bring some people from the outer regions and come see us and what's happening in Arcata. So this is a big deal. Saturday, March 16th. We'd love to see some of you as guests at our club and I mean at the event. So both of us have tickets, raffle tickets and event tickets.
And for the raffle, the grand prize will be New Zealand, and Crystal could tell you all about that. She won 2 years ago. And the second prize will be $1,000 cash, and the third prize will be 2 cases of local wine. So those will be $20 each, or 6 for 100. And
how did we come up with 2 cases of wine?
Is it just one?
No, it's 2. I'm like, where did we get that number though?
I
Why not 3?
It's 2 cases of wine because you're not our club. Our club would have given away 1 and drank 1.
Okay, so thanks everybody. Look forward to seeing you there.
So speaking about supporting Rotarians, there's this lovely seafood boil that's going on. Would you like to say some things about it?
I would. Okay, so Fortuna Sunrise's fundraiser is tomorrow night. Last week when I was talking about it, we had too many people for one table. I called them and they said no problem for you because it's already sold out. We will add part of a table, and we're going to have a table and a half. Well, then 2 people called me and said, I can't make it. So I have 3 tickets for tomorrow night. Anybody can go. Please let me know. Show of hands, anybody? Melinda, I had you taken off. Are you in or? You can't. You can't. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
know. They said it was sold out, so I said, oh, I just won't commit because I can't commit, and so I made it.
Okay. Okay.
Lori.
Nicholas? Yes. 1, 2, just 1. Okay, so I have 2 more tickets. You guys, this is so much fun. They
How much
just,
is the ticket for?
They're
They
$75.
give you a bib, and then you don't even use it because you're so messy anyway, it doesn't matter. No? Is this not the best sales pitch? Yes.
2 or 1?
You sold him with the bib.
Okay, so I have 1 more
sold him
left.
with
If
the
you're
bib.
interested, come talk to me. Thanks.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right. So, I was going to wait just a second because I wanted to wait for Romy to put a little bit more food in your mouth. Because I was trying to time it perfectly. I wanted you to put food in your mouth and then be...
I have representation.
Oh! All right. Well, excellent. Why don't you come on up front?
We have the sisters and we have the sisters-in-law. It's all about the girls in this club.
Avoid the trash can. So this is our new thing, just so everyone knows, the avoiding of the trash can.
Because otherwise,
We do got a
Dick
frame
can't
for
see
Dick,
me.
and so...
You're actually out of frame. We need to move the can. That works.
So last week I gave you a save the date from the fellowship committee for our upcoming charter afternoon event, which will be February 9th. And it'll be from 2 to 4 in the afternoon at Griffin. There will be hosted appetizers and no host bar and sort of very casual, relaxed, come and have some fellowship, conversation with your fellow Rotarians and celebrate the club's 27th year. Right? 27, right? Woohoo! Okay, yay. So that's coming up for February. The other thing though is that we have this rise tradition of rising up in our club to go to other events, supporting other events and activities. And the committee works to be able to coordinate at least one of those per month. So I have a couple of Rotary involvement strengthens everyone. Thank you. So we have a couple of events that I did want to share with you that are coming up. First of all, the pancake breakfast at the Arcata High School College and Career Center, which certainly the vocational committee is behind, but let's rise up and attend and have breakfast and be able to support certainly Arcata High as well as there's a huge consortium that comes together. You heard about it from Interact, it's our club, it's the Noon Club, it's a Rotaract, it's a big, and the Soroptimists, all of those come together to make this event happen. So. And what date is that again? That's the 26th of January.
And the thing to add about that, the College and Career Center is actually the only College and Career Center north of Santa Rosa at any high school. And so it's a terrific resource for the students, all students at Arcata High, whether they want to go on to vocational or college or an Ivy League. It's serving everyone, and it cannot exist without community support, and this is the largest fundraiser of the year to make sure that College and Career Center continues to serve our local students.
So, here's your pitch for the College and Career Center breakfast on the 26th. The February event, Rise Fellowship event, will actually be our own charter night or charter afternoon on the 9th of February. March, we were looking for something, and then something presented itself just today. So March 16th, we would propose that we rise up and support the Noon Club and North Bay Rotaract at the Humboldt Wine event.
Thank you.
So that we'll be encouraging a group of Rotarians to rise up and support that event. Let's see. Then going into April, we'll probably do some kind of a chamber mixer. The chamber mixer that month is going to be at the Bayside Community Hall, which some of you are aware that there's going to be a service project associated with Bayside Community Hall going on this year at some point. So we thought that would be a fun one to be able to rise up and attend together. In May, we have our own Taste of Spring fundraiser event, so we'll be rising up for that. Okay? That's what I got, right?
Yeah. The Bayside Community Hall also is doing a pancake breakfast the next day after this one, 27th.
Oh, good. So pancakes are pancakes. You know, there's no such thing as too many pancakes. So the 26th and 27th, pancake it up.
Let's have breakfast.
Okay?
Molly.
What is the service project your club is planning for the Grange, that's what I still call it, the Bayside Community Hall? What's the service project coming up? And could you use our club's help?
Yay. Sure.
SWAT.
Yes.
SWAT project.
It hasn't exactly defined yet, but we're going to do a lot of painting and prep work for a wall behind the bar that's being installed. They're redoing the whole foyer, paint, prep, trim. They're redoing the whole
sitting
kitchen.
in the right spot.
Yeah.
How is he?
Talk amongst yourselves.
We're just been doing broad strokes with it, but right now it's happening the 10th through the 16th of
March?
March. We'll talk.
All right, wonderful.
A week before their big
So,
More announcements.
I got a call from John Van Fabrock. Remember, he was a host parent. He and his wife Nancy were host parents for a German exchange student. Do I remember his name? Was
Philip.
They've lost track of where he is.
Oh.
If any of you,
Janice
I'm going
has
to see him
contacted.
in April.
yeah, so can we talk
We're
after
already
the meeting?
connected, yeah.
They'd like to get in touch.
Janice has him on Facebook. Perfect. She's been in contact with him.
Okay, thank you.
History Day. Do I need to come up front or am I good right here?
you're good there.
Okay, so History Day, they can always use volunteers, and so what you do is you go there and you let the students be the teachers for the day. It's absolutely wonderful. You learn a lot. You're actually considered a judge, but there's other people to help out. So please sign up. There was an email that went out with a link on it. You can click on that if you haven't done it. As I said, it's a great way to get up there and learn a little history from the little ones. So I'll send out another email or have Howard send out an email with a link. Let's do it. That's it. Thanks.
Excellent. So normally I would go to this slide for this portion, but I'm going to go to this slide for this portion. And let's see if the Rotarian of the Week here is clever enough to figure out who they are. Is anyone? Anyone?
I think it's me.
You're super close. You're so close. Right there.
It's not even right there.
I don't know what it could be. Do you like bagels? Because you can be a bagel now. Nessa's Rotarian of the Week because she lets us do things like this and helps us do things like this. So, thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet. You don't have to do that. But we'll meet after the meeting.
So, we were this close to Shannon being Rotarian of the Week. But no, I have to say, right in the beginning, there was this thing about the four-way test. You lied. Come on.
I'll work on it.
Well, we'll give you another chance. We're not really going to the raffle right now. We're going to kind of mix it up because we were improvising here now.
Trash can, trash can.
Not a frame. There's a just look in the front. It's all good. So we'll go to our program now. And I'll let Karen introduce
sudden there's a silence.
Yeah.
Good God.
Everybody's scared.
We're good.
Did everybody think I was in trouble or something? Thank you. Our guest speaker this morning is Police Chief Ryan Ahearn, Arcata Police Chief, taking here this year. And he's from New York.
I'm sorry?
Born in New York.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he moved to San Diego. It was a good move. He joined the San Diego Police Department in 1986. He and his wife Jacqueline recently celebrated 34 years of marriage, and they have 2 children. Their daughter Amanda is 25, and she teaches first grade. Their son Taylor is 24. He's my hero. He's a minor league pitcher in the Boston Red Sox system.
I'll fill in a few blanks.
He's worked various assignments in the San Diego Police Department, including patrol, investigations, training, and administration. His last assignment was as captain of investigations. He's got a lot of hobbies. Humboldt County is perfect for that. Outdoor recreation, going to sporting events, and watching movies. And he says he is humbled and honored to be your chief of police. I look forward to serving the Arcata community. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I apologize, first of all, for being late. I got the times mixed up a little bit, and I mean this sincerely. If there's a way that I can make it up, I mean, if you want to assign me a service project, or force, yeah, true. But yeah, that's 2 snorts.
I know.
I know. I went to the bank and you had like 5.
I know. You better up your game.
We have a few open seats, so you can just join.
Before I consider that, I wanted to acknowledge Chief Randy Mendoza, also our former city manager, who's here. And Crystal, who was our juvenile diversion counselor and is now working for the county. Any other former Arcata PD or current, if I'm not seeing you? 125 years this year. Dedicated service since 1894 is what you'll see on the side of our cars. And every law enforcement agency has a slogan. And you know, that's a slogan that really believes in family and history. And there's a tremendous amount of pride within the walls of Arcata PD for the service that they provide to all of you and this great community. So it's an honor to be here with you this morning. As Karen was saying, let's see, he was born and raised on Long Island in New York. Moved out to San Diego in 1983. Met my wife Jackie. We got married, and 34 years later, here we are. Jackie's a nurse. She got her bachelor's and her master's at San Diego State University. She's currently a school nurse. And then my daughter Amanda is a teacher. And then Taylor actually just got released by the Boston Red Sox on January 11th. But his agent got him signed by the River City Rascals in Missouri. So he's now a Rascal. It's independent ball. He got up to high A. You know, it's a grind. He was drafted in 2017 out of a Division II school in San Diego as a pitcher. But thrill of a lifetime, a dream come true. We're so proud of him. And just a picture, a very small snapshot into what it's like, and most likely perhaps in your industry as well. As you don't just elevate to these positions, you don't just come into these positions of leadership. You got to work. You got to roll up your sleeves. You got to, you know, work hard, treat people well, and set goals. And then really lean on those who have gone before you, and hopefully they will invest their time, their energy, their talent into you. And I can tell you in all sincerity that the reason why I'm standing here is because of for the last 31 plus years, everyone who has put their time, talent, and invested their blood, sweat, and tears into me. And I can't speak for the chief, but I'm sure he would agree that, especially in the public safety arena, You don't have a choice but to work together as a team. There are no set hours. We come when you call. And we were out early this morning because the community needed us, and we were out there with a lot of resources and a very good resolution. So what can you expect from me as your chief? You can expect a lot of things. First of all, I don't have all the answers. So I'm going to really be looking to you to help me guide our police department and figure out what's best for this great community in terms of public safety. What are your expectations of the police department? Being a new chief coming in, I do get asked quite a bit from the officers and our professional staff is, hey chief, what do you want? How do you need this done? And they're not used to being asked, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you figure out how to do it and then tell me what the resources are that you need to get the job done. So it's not always going to be that way, but there is a tremendous sense of family and honor within Arcata Police Department because of all those who've come before me for the last 125 years. And Molly, it's good to see you this morning as well. So
I have something for you.
I bet you do. But I don't have all the answers, but you can expect a lot of hard work. I'm a blue collar, old school, now I'm old school. You know, at 55 years old, I'm old school. That's not a bad thing, but you know, I'm flexible too, and I understand what people in different generations need, and I think I have the I guess, wisdom now to help get them what they want in the manner in which they want it, package it up their way. But you're going to get me accessibility. I'm going to leave I've got some of my city business cards, and I have, quite frankly, because I forgot to load up early this morning, I've got some throwdown cards as well, but they have my cell phone number and my email address. Why do I do that? Because I want you, if you need something, I want you to call me. Oftentimes, you know, it's difficult to maneuver through the public safety phone tree. And oftentimes you only get to the front counter. The front counter staff do a phenomenal job, but you may walk away with some of your question answered, but you don't really understand or have that much clarity. Just give me a call. Anytime. I love Arcata. Arcata has a grip on me. And as the former chief and city manager knows, that I serve at the pleasure of the city manager. So, you know, the expectations are high. Not only from Karen, but from all of you. If I do my job, this will be my last law enforcement job. This community has been phenomenal. They've embraced me and my family, been so friendly. I mean, when I do my community walks, people actually answer the door. That's sort of unusual sometimes. And then, you know, just the tremendous amount of pride that's here in Arcata. I'm just glad to be a part of all of you and your wonderful community. So, and then you'll get, you know, ingenuity, innovation, and empowerment. So, there certainly police work. We've got a lot of old tricks that work well, but some of them have died on the vine. And it's no longer acceptable if you call me or you call our dispatch and we say, well, we'll do extra patrol. I love hearing that, extra patrol. You know, we'll do the best we can. For example, we've got some problems at the ITF and at the community center with homelessness. So I find myself telling the staff who work there, we'll do extra patrol, right? And they're great. They're very gracious. Oh, we appreciate that. Thanks very much. We may do some extra patrol. What's extra? Do we go by there one time? Do we go by there 2 more times, 3 more times? By 2 or 3 days later, boom, we're off to the next priority, right? And there's priorities all over this city. It's a great city. It's a safe city. But for every one stabbing, people want to know, why is there a rise in violent crime? Well, it's my job to make sure that violent crime goes down. And it's your job, quite frankly, to hold me accountable. I don't want you to tell us what we're doing well. I want you to tell me what we're not doing well. That's the only way we're going to get better. And that's the message to my staff is let's create a plan for these places. We're not going to solve the homeless problem, right? But we can be innovative, and empowerment is I'm giving you the authority to make decisions on how to manage your day in a police car, in dispatch, writing parking citations, as a citizen volunteer. You get to decide, because there's a lot of ways to solve problems. And what we're trying to do is up our corporate game a little bit, our marketing game, You might be seeing us on social media a lot more. We're trying to do more, allowing people inside the PD, whether it's through social media or having an event that we did inside Arcata PD back on December 8th. We're going to celebrate our 125th anniversary this year. We're going to do a family day for the Arcata Police Department family. We're going to do more open houses. We're getting ready to kick off our town councils, which is different from the community walk. I truly believe, and I've been brought up in the community policing and the problem-solving philosophy. It's woven through my body. It's in my DNA. I can't get rid of it. Whether the cops like it or not, it's here. You got to embrace it. It's not about us. Okay? We're the public servants. You don't exist on our behalf. It's the opposite. And sometimes in this business we lose sight of that. Why? It's a tough job. It's very challenging. But I guarantee you that whether it's a dispatcher or a volunteer or Crystal doing juvenile diversion or a police officer out on the beat, at the end of every day you can look in the mirror and say you made a difference. Now, you may not be able to point to one person or one call, and in the moment, as you're in the minutia and trying to figure out if you did a good job or you're questioning maybe your tactics, trust me. If you're in the law enforcement, public safety arena, everyone you come in contact with, you've impacted them to some degree. And what we want people in Arcata to walk away from is, we may not have been able to solve your problem in the way that you wanted it solved, but you understand why. And we treated you like a human being. And we continue to want to have a relationship with you. And what I tell my cops is, look, you may not be, these are very complex problems. Think about it. We got 21 to 55 and up rolling out to a place where, the reason why we go is it's bad news, right? We never get called to a celebration except for today, right? So we're asking 25, 35-year-old people to solve a problem that the people who called us are unable to solve. So what I tell the cops is, look, don't put so much pressure on yourself. First of all, you got to be safe, right? And you got to be human. The uniform's important. The equipment is important. It's there for a reason, right? But people want to know you as a human being, not as a police officer. And at the end of the day, the only thing we might be able to leave them with is hope. Okay? But if we get called back, we'll try to do and provide a little bit more service. And you're going to see me out in the community quite a bit. And I'm trying to put as much as I can out on social media without getting ridiculous. But I think it really is important to tell our story. And social media is a mechanism in which we can do that. So I know I have 20 minutes, including Q&A. I was late. I don't want to be like too long-winded. And I truly mean it. If I can make it up to you as a group, whether it's, washing your car while you're away or dog sitting, I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me. So let me, whatever you need, let me know.
There, I'm right down there.
We're going to 2 schools this morning. We're going to Arcata Elementary School and then Sunny Brae Middle. We ask students every year. Eileen Verbeck, our police business manager, asks students every year from local schools to design our holiday card. So the 2 students who were selected this year, we're going to go honor them. And then Greg Pope, who's our juvenile diversion officer. Both Greg and I coach a 6th grade basketball team in the Arcata Rec League. So, being here with all of you and honoring and acknowledging and thanking you for your service is one more opportunity for me to get involved in the community, to immerse myself in the community. And so if there's anything you need, either on a personal note, professionally, a problem that you need the police to help with, cell phone, email, you have direct access to your chief of police. That's probably the most important thing for me. Questions? Yes? Great question. Why did I come to Arcata? I was looking for an opportunity to continue to serve. And I was looking for an opportunity to maybe do it in a little bit of a different environment. Having worked for 31 years in San Diego, which is a model police department, very progressive, what we've learned from a lot of other police departments, trust me, we borrow a lot of things. But it was a great run. But from I guess a career and personal gratification, position at 55 years old, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this for the rest of my life. Can I still continue to serve and maybe do it in a different capacity to up my game, to develop my skill level, and see if I can make an impact in another community? And here we are in Arcata. What a dream come true for me. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about the camping ordinance in town?
Yeah, great question. I can't talk a lot about it because I don't even understand it, to be honest with you. I understand the ordinance, but I don't really know what we can do with it right now, except we're really very, very cautious about it, and we're very sensitive. And I'm proud of the city for that. You know, the Ninth Circuit has spoken, the Supreme Court has spoken, courts all over the country have spoken. You have to decriminalize homelessness. It's not against the law to be homeless. That's the most difficult part for people because visually it's uncomfortable. Let's just acknowledge it, right? The person may not have ever been arrested before in their life. They may not have any mental illness. They may not be strung out on drugs or alcohol. Many of them are, right? But some may not be. We're seeing a rise in homelessness among 70-plus-year-old people just due to financial problems and amongst the youth. It's amazing to me how many HSU students are struggling with either finding or keeping the housing that they have. So as far as camping goes, slippery slope for us now. The Boise decision is the most recent one. It's not codified yet. Boise is appealing it. But in essence, and this goes back to 2009 and 2007, that's how long these cases take to work through the courts. But if you read the decision, everything's online. It's great. You know, they say you can't criminalize homelessness. Just because somebody doesn't have a roof over their head doesn't mean that you as a police officer can arrest them, right? But then right at the end they say, we're not trying to direct any municipalities on how to police the homeless. So, and guess what? Now, and look, I know a lot of the homeless. I know them by first name. We give them food, right? Now somebody may say, well, why are you doing that? You're enabling them. Because it's the human thing to do for me. That's what I do, okay? I'm not ashamed of it. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, what else am I going to do? Maybe I can make their next 20 minutes a little bit more bearable by giving them a package of crackers. It's better than just driving by and I can't do anything else for you. But many of them now, when I say hello or say, hey, can you maybe start moving out of the community center maybe at 6 a.m. because the staff's starting to come. And like at ITF, staff are coming, right? And you wouldn't believe what some of the things they have to walk through to get to work. I'm not going to tell you because you have food in front of you, right? But it's sort of the byproduct of being homeless. So we have to be really careful because even the homeless now, when we get out of the car, even to say hello, they're saying, hey, my 8th Amendment right, homelessness is not a crime. They're not throwing out their attorney name, but they are educated now. Maybe in some cases more educated than the chief of police. Now that's not going to deter us. If we're within procedure and within the law, then we'll utilize enforcement appropriately. But homelessness has to be much more than just enforcement. There are a ton of resources available here, right here in Arcata. I'm so proud of the city. You've done a phenomenal job over the decades of taking care of everyone to the best that you can. So our goal is to continue to push them towards services, divert them away from the criminal justice system, and hopefully impact one at a time. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
We've been seeing a number of movies lately that actually are sympathetic to the homeless. And they point out the following. Tell me if this is actually accurate. It's not illegal to be homeless, but it is illegal to camp on public lands. Is that?
Well, that's the essence of the Boise decision. Public lands, city lands, and it's open to the public. So, you know, people will say, let's just say, you know, the plaza, for example, or the community center, or the forest, right? Hey, they're camping, and so what's camping? You know, they maybe have a sleeping bag out, maybe they have some food set up, maybe they have, you know, at least, you know, some camping equipment. So what if a family goes into the plaza and they set up the same thing at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday? I got to go over there and I got to tell them, hey, there's no camp. So we have to be fair and judicious and provide equitable levels of service. Because when you have advocates, whether it's homelessness, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's name the right that people have, and we should have these rights and we are entitled to them. There's advocates out there watching law enforcement to ensure that, you know, when we're enforcing the letter of the law, we're doing it appropriately, but I'm sure as the chief would agree, oftentimes it's more about the spirit of the law. But we have to balance that with the impact in the community. And striking, and hitting, what are they saying, baseball, hitting that sweet spot? That's the goal. We don't get there a lot, we get close, but that sweet spot, I think we'll always be looking for that. I think this is my cue to...
How did you catch? We have a few more minutes because we have to do a couple of things. So one, thank you for being our speaker.
Oh.
We made a donation in your name to the Wheelchair Foundation.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
That's the first one. Yeah. The second one, which is probably more important, I heard you're a selfie guy.
Love selfies. Yeah.
He's so good at them.
Yeah.
Well, now the question is how do we get us all in a big cluster so we can get a selfie with all of us?
Yeah. I need that selfie stick, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe I'll turn that tripod. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
That's cheating.
Well, I tell you, my arm, Michael Jordan in Space Jam, you know when he made that last bucket, his arm was like 30 feet long? Maybe
we can work on something. So how about we'll do this? We'll wrap up the meeting and then we'll cluster everybody into the back.
Do it.
Sound good? Sound good? Perfect. Okay. So the last thing then, raffle real quick, then we'll take care of that.
Next week's Final Friday.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes. So, yes, next week is Final Friday. Big. We want you to pull around.
Oh, okay. Tickets?
2.
One at a time?
6945623. 623? 623. Right here, sister.
Check her ticket. Yeah.
I was in the bank for 2 minutes. She scored it 5. I couldn't believe it. One more. What's the ball in there? Is that?
That's the used ball.
Okay.
Every time your object.
You go, girl.
576. What is it? 576.
That's me.
Terry.